views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome back, everyone. Angelica Rose is in the house. Angelica Rose, you're going to find out what her message is, but I'll tell you this. This is a fully embraced 30-minute call with Angelica, who is bringing to us angel connections, angels everywhere. But what is it about angels? What has she said yes to in her lives and her life? And what is it about what she's bringing to the world right now that is all about a shift in energy and how the angels help us every day? Angelica, it's great to have you here. Welcome to the show.
I'm so honored and excited because not only are we doing the show around a beautiful energy time, Christmas, holiday time, to everybody, it's also a time to remember pure love. So thank you so much for this experience.
And let's start the conversation out from there. I mean, I know we're talking about angels. I wanted to ask you about your journey with angels, but most importantly, you know, we are picking a theme for 2017 as we speak. And what's really clear to us here at the Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio is how vulnerable all of us can be about putting limits on spirit. And I wanted to ask you, how does a strengthened connection with the angels help us not do that?
You know, that's such a phenomenal question, and this is the year of the 9, which is a very strong completion year, bringing things up to get brought to a place that needed to be cleared away, that needed to be transmuted and transformed, so that people can have a lighter connection within themselves. Most times, people feel like they look outside for something, like they're missing something. And so when they do that, what's happening is they're closing off their inner sanctuary. And as a result of that, they're not facing the parts that keep them in conflict. And so in order to have a stronger connection with your angels and with these master beings, these ascended masters that I also work with, it's beyond just your spirit guides, beyond just the angels. It's also a connection within yourself. And the more that you develop that inner connection with love, not fear, with love, not hate, the more you start to strengthen positivity instead of negativity and acceptance instead of judgment, really going deep inside and bringing up anything that's in conflict with that, the stronger you stay in a higher vibrational frequency, and then the easier it is to connect with the angels.
And, you know, let's talk about this idea of connecting with the angels. I think that a lot of times that we are experiencing for ourselves, you know, foxhole prayers. And what I mean by foxhole prayers is that we wait until everything around us starts to come down, starts to come apart. And then the next part of it is it's coming apart. And instead of like, you know, I was listening to a podcast this morning, and instead of like asking big, we ask marginally, what is it about us? Why do we continue to diminish the ability, especially of angels, And where is our greatest misconception there?
Well, see, and now you just hit the nail on the hammer with the misconceptions, because
okay,
yeah, I mean, it's so important for people to get this. There's two ways in which we can run our life. One's through ego control and one's through our inner spirit. Our inner spirit is beyond the limitations, the negativity, the insecurities, the fears, the prayers of which literally, if in your conversation, it's coming from something missing place. When you start to realize that there's nothing missing, and you don't give your power to what I call the denser vibrations, whether it's within yourself or within the outer world, then you start to strengthen and empower your inner sanctuary, your inner world. Your vibration gets higher. You become more confident. You become stronger inside, and thereby your vibration becomes higher, because we're living in a vibrational planet. If your vibration is based on limitations or fears or insecurities, you're going to attract that vibration in your experiential in life. If your vibration is based on unconditional, pure love, acceptance, joy, peace, you're going to attract vibrational experiences in that area. So your prayers aren't, please give me something, but rather, thank you, I'm excited about sharing something. And there's a difference in your vibration and the way you communicate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense, because, what I alluded to was this thing called foxhole prayers, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my gosh, I am so far down this tunnel, and now I'm going to pray for something, but I'm not sure what I'm going to pray for. I mean,
Exactly.
Isn't that, as I think you mentioned in some of the information you provided, ego has got to be jumping in saying, hey, why don't you play small? I mean, I just don't really quite understand what it is about us as human beings that would choose small in an unlimited universe. Is that ego?
Well, let me make sure that this part is clear. A lot of times people want to kill off their ego. Ego is just a program. It's just a program. It's like a computer program. If you have a malfunction in your computer, you're going to jump on it, crash it, throw it in the garbage. No, you're going to go get it fixed.
Not at my age in life right now. I won't do that. But I have to tell you, Benny, there was a point in time that I would do something. But you're right about that. Yeah.
So you can't kill off your ego, because if you do, you're going to die. You can't kill a program off. You're in the body. You're experiencing it. What's happening is you have beliefs. Some are conscious and some are unconscious. Some are serving you. Some are not serving you. Many people were brought up in dysfunctional family upbringings that had limiting types of beliefs. Not enough syndrome, not good enough syndrome, fear-based syndrome. Schools are based on what's wrong rather than what's right sometimes. And so as a result of it, the outer world is based on negative feedback, fear-driven feedback, rather than celebration feedback. And so many people come from that fear-based mentality, which triggers the insecurity, which, by the way, are the two biggest distractions of what keeps us stuck in that small-minded way of thinking. And as a result of it, we play out that vibration, and it mirrors back the reality of that truth. And so most people don't realize that it's all within themselves. They can shift that, but sometimes it takes time, because you have unraveled beliefs and you have to get to the core to really dive in. And when I say it takes time, I'm not talking about linear time, like years, like a therapist would take. I'm talking about dedication, commitment, willingness, self-responsibility to go inside and say, what's creating this? Me. How can I stop it? Me. Instead of blaming other people or other situations for what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I also wanted to ask you about is, this idea as we're stepping in, you said, we started to talk about this being a 9-year. So if this is a 9-year, then what's next year? And what is the meaning of that from the angelic realm?
Oh, it's a phenomenal year. Now, again, based on how much of a commitment you've invested in your inner world and releasing
huge.
yeah, I mean, this is a big year to do it, to release everything that's standing in the way, because a lot of it also has to do with universal timing with regard to your purpose and what you're here to do. And sometimes it takes a little longer than you'd like it to take with regard to getting that prosperity going. Next year is the year of one, which is new beginnings, individuality. It's an amazing year if you have done your inner work and you're ready to move your life to a place of saying, hey, I'm worth it. I'm ready. Let's bring it on. I'm open. I'm receptive. I believe in myself. I love myself. I can attract all this prosperity because I'm coming from the integrity of it. And you stay aligned with that vibration, things start to move. And that of which is not in aligned has to come up to be released. And sometimes people get attached to that, of which is being released, and they get stuck in it because they're judging it, fearing it, becoming insecure by it, and thereby they're sinking down into that rabbit hole because that's where their consciousness is focused.
Yeah. Today, and having you come on is to bring a special message. It's so special. I think we're going to skip the break here too, Mr. Benny. And the message really is about activating that inner spirit. Exactly. But I want to stop for a minute and ask you what that means. And the reason I think this is so important to talk about is because there are millions of people just in this country that are so stuck over the things that have been happening in the world, especially in our country, and get very confused about how do I still pay attention, but how do I create that inner presence that will transcend most ideas of fear, most feelings of lack. And so what is that inner spirit, and what have you learned about activating it?
It's funny, I'm getting a channeled message around that. There's, like what they want me to say. So
okay.
While you were talking, I was loving this
okay.
because of course I'm going to say all this stuff, but I just want to take a step back and say I'm an angelic walk-in just so people get where I'm coming from. And I channel these ascended star beings, the angelic realm, and the ascended masters. These vibrational beings have come here on this planet in non-physical form to help the planet, to help people on the planet. And then there are light workers like myself that are committed to being a conduit of these energies. So in answer to your question, there's two ways in which we can go out into the world, duality or oneness. Duality is based on right, wrong, good, bad, ego, control, and struggles. Oneness is having a direct connection with your inside to the universe, what I call the universe of love. And there isn't this duality through judging the outer world or fearing it or negativity or limitations. It doesn't exist because in the universe, it's pure. There's none of that. The rest is a lie. Some people are living in that lie, in that dream, and so they can't get out because they keep feeding that dream with their attention, with their focus, with their stories. That's duality living. In order to break that, you have to wake up and realize that that kind of conversation has to stop. The judgments have to stop. The stories have to stop. You have to realize that you're not any of those illusionary beliefs that are literally lies, that the universe is pure infinity. It's pure love. It's pure joy, and it's pure peace. And if you could totally grasp that, the other part can't exist because you're moving more into that oneness rather than living in two worlds, which is duality living. So the more you wake up your inner world and the more you start unraveling those beliefs that are keeping you stuck, and I work with energy, I don't work with the labels, I don't work with the stories. So the energies get transmuted, the beliefs come up. It's like taking out the garbage. You don't smell the garbage. You don't take the garbage back in. You don't analyze the garbage. You just throw it away. So when these beliefs come up, I tell people, think of it as not judging the garbage, but think of it, because you don't judge your garbage. I hope not. You just throw it away. And well, when these beliefs come up that aren't serving, you just bless it and say, thank you, it's coming up. sometimes people don't do that. They hook in, and so they're stuck back in that duality. And when they start to realize that and they start letting it go, then they start waking up the human consciousness to the realization that they're not having a human experience. They're initially having a spiritual experience, and that's when the inner spirit wakes up and creates this oneness to the reality of truth. And thereby, your vibration becomes more active in a higher vibrational frequency, so that when you do have an experience, such as a human experience, it comes from a more of an expansive, prosperous way. And it's quite amazing.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to ask you this before we get too much time going here. You also work with people, and people are really reaching out and saying, you know, I've done this alone so long. I would love to get a little help on this. Can you tell folks, first of all, what it is that you can help them with, what your sessions are like, but also give out your website and let folks know how each of us can contact you.
Okay. Well, let me first kind of tell. I have a lot of integrity with what I do. I don't make the decision. I always tune into their spirit guides. I make sure that I'm the correct person. They have to be committed to letting go of that duality type of thinking, because they will grow really fast and move through the vibrations really quick. And so the things that I do offer is angel and medium messages, obviously without any human filters, because that's what I want to be able to go to the angelic realm. I do the inner spirit activations only if they're ready for it, because it will bring things up that are not in alignment, and they have to be awakened enough to know that that's what is coming up is going to be released and not focused on. So it's kind of like we work into that. I have these online series that help to wake up their inner spirit, and it includes a meditation, because I'm a certified hypnotist. I'm not putting you under at this point, by the way. and it's a 4-part series that helps to wake up the consciousness, that then allows the inner spirit activation sessions to be more prosperous for them. There's energy alignment sessions, monthly channeled events, meditation classes, and then I have public classes and speaking engagements that I can go to and present at various locations. And so the website is Angel, ANGEL, Rose, ROSE, Love, LOVE, .wix, WIX.com/love.
Great. And, you know, for those people listening to the show today, I think it is important for us to have a conversation, you and I, about what's possible. You know, we briefly touched upon this being a 9-year, and there's a lot of misconception about that. People think, oh, I've got to hurry up and write all my books, or I got to hurry up and do this and do that. You know what I mean? Because we're human doing. But it's something else, isn't it? And you help people sort of open the gateway. Some folks think if I've not got it done, then I'm doomed. Now, clearly for me, I could feel that this was a 9-year, 9 of completion, not just in the physical things, but in the emotional, the spiritual, the directional things for me. You know, what is it we're going to launch with the new network, but not from an outer perspective, inner. What can you say to folks to help them prepare now and prepare a week from now, let's say?
Okay, I'm getting another channeled message about this, so this is kind of fun. And you're going to laugh and put, oh, my God. When we have to let go of the human doing and become a human being. Because when we're a human being, then we're being with the connection of our inner spirit first. And from that place, innovations come at a different vibrational frequency that gives us inspired action to then become human doing. But if you're trying to rush, that's, again, ego control. That's only going to give you the same vibrational pattern based on your current belief system. And when you learn to be first and connect vibrationally, inwardly, move your vibration to a different vibrational place, you're almost like an inventor. You're creating at a totally different place. Or an artist that does a portrait, they don't think about what they're going to do. They feel that experience and they make a connection, and then they start to express it. It's the same thing, whatever you're doing in life. You have to be willing to first be before you do. Otherwise, you're going to have so much poop in the toilet. Sorry, that's a joke.
Well, as we're looking at stepping into that, the human being, I am really struck by how much fear is in the hearts of people these days. And, the answer isn't always don't turn on the TV, don't do this, don't do that. And how do we connect with our angels to help us move from fear to faith? Whether it's getting up and getting to the grocery store, or whether it's starting a multi-million-dollar company, what is the antidote for that?
Well, first you got to realize that fear is false evidence that appears real. Unless you have a bus coming at you and you're walking across the street, that could be real.
Yes, exactly.
Majority of it is based on, again, coming back to those belief systems that keep getting triggered. And when there isn't integrity or there isn't a we focus, sometimes ego has an instant gratification that focuses more on the me, what I can get. When you're a spiritual being and you're connected from that place, is what we can receive, what we can share. How could the universe benefit? How could the people involved benefit? How could I benefit? There's more of that sharing. There isn't what I'm going to get from people. So that kind of shifts us to a totally different place. And as a result of it, we have more empowerment within ourselves, because we're being in the world versus being of the world. We're not giving our power to the outer world conditions as truth. We're seeing it as it is, something that's not real, but that is in our reality at this current moment. Do we want to allow it to take our power away, or do we want to stand so strong in our inner power that we realize that what's outside of us is not going to take our power away?
And, thank you for today. And I know we've got a couple of minutes left. Please give out your website again. And and then I would like to talk. Yeah, it does. It goes fast.
Oh, my God.
We even skipped the break.
Fun. Thank you for this. It's Angel, Angel, Rose, Rose, Love, LOVE.wix, WIX.com/love. You mentioned this show, you'll get an extra gift. It's a fun little gift for you, and so make sure that you click on the various tabs and email me and mention the show so that I know that you are listening and benefiting and enjoying it.
Awesome. I wanted to ask you, we've got a few minutes left. Tell us about the angelic messages for us to carry forth.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Tell us about the angelic messages.
The angelic messages for the universe. What is it that,
It's simple. Be love. Be in the moment. Be present. Get out of your head and get into your heart and make peace with what happened yesterday and let go of it and start today with a brand new slate of choosing to be in peace, choosing to be in love, choosing to be in joy, and realizing how worthy you are.
Wow. Thank you so much for today. And, I know this is a busy time of year for you. I know this is a busy time of year for most people, but thank you for all that you do. One last question from you. What is your personal message? And again, what would you like to leave us with?
I so love the connection that I have with my commitment of helping to wake up the planet, helping to wake up people on the planet. It's so important for us to realize that we are really all connected, and we can stay connected in love, or we can stay connected in fear and insecurity. Just remember how amazing you are inside. No matter what anybody says, be that light And that, to me, is what I'm choosing. I'm choosing so strongly to stay connected to the vibration of love. That's my commitment as an angelic walk-in, and to help others remember that truth. Everything else that contradicts that is a lie.
Awesome. Thank you so much for today. For those of you out there, I want to thank you so much for tuning us in and turning us on. And for me, I want to thank you for supporting the Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio. If you want to find out more about us, so Transformation Talk Radio and the Dr. Pat Show. And moving forward into next week, we've got some fabulous guest hosts for all of you. I want to wish you and your family the best holiday ever, and get ready for an incredible new year. We'll see you next time.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.